Welcome to Jason Unleashed, everyone. How's it going? I'm your host, Jason Carter. Thank you so much for watching. On today's show, we have an amazing woman, Heather Gardner from Entertainment Weekly's new show on Quibi. Last Night's Late Night is going to be on today, and she's incredible. I've known her for years. She is a wonderful human being. Now she's on Quibi, which is the new entertainment experience that just launched April 1st. It's quick bites, bite-size viewing bits of whatever you need. Entertainment, news, music. Some of the biggest celebrities like Chrissy Teigen, Chance the Rapper, they're all on the platform. And so we have Heather Gardner from Entertainment Weekly. She's going to be stopping by. And again, if you missed any of the interviews live on Instagram, you can go over to my YouTube channel. They're all going to be uploaded there. Let's bring Heather in. Cool chick, you guys are gonna love her. Love it. Heather Gardner!
It's been so long since I've seen your face!
You too, babe. How are you doing?
Oh, I mean, as good as it can be, all things considered, but yeah, everything's all right.
All right. Well, Heather, glad to have you here. Good to see you too, boo. I know we see each other on FaceTime, but now we're like on our own shows. It's amazing.
I know, and I love, can I just say, I just love your setup. I love your energy. I love this, like, blouse you got on.
Thanks,
I love everything about it. I love that you are like not doing what I'm doing and just eating my feelings all the time, always. You're being very productive.
Don't speak. You speak too soon. I'm absolutely eating everything inside. But Heather, it's good to see you. You look great yourself.
Thanks.
EW's Last Night, Late Night.
Yes.
Is the new hotness right now on Quibi. We're gonna get to the show, but first of all, how are you doing? I mean, again, the new normal is the new normal, and how are you existing in this new normal?
I hate the new normal, and like not just because we're like confined here, not for like superficial reasons, but this is like a scary ass time.
Yeah.
And you know, I try to watch the news and keep myself updated, you know, every day, but then also turn it off. And like every single day it just gets scarier and scarier. The fact that we're not gonna let mass gatherings till we have a vaccine, no concerts, no red carpets, no entertainment, no movie theaters, like that scares me. And also like having to jog outside with a mask. I hate this new normal.
I do too.
I'm just keeping it real. I don't like it.
You know, and it's okay. It's okay to keep it real because a lot of people don't. At first, you kind of feel guilty for having those feelings, right?
Yes.
But the truth of the matter is that we are creatures of habit, and our habits have completely, as you said in your Entertainment Weekly article, everything's been upended. It's like stop what you're doing because I'm about to ruin everything you knew before, right? Mm-hmm. And so it's adjusting, and you know, change is hard, and especially when you are dealing with this unseen stealth enemy that is COVID-19.
I know. Of course, I'm like thankful because I'm healthy. I'm here with my husband. We have a place to stay. We're still working, which I know is not, you know, the scenario for a lot of people. So there's a lot to be thankful for in this scenario. But at the end of the day, if we could just rewind like 2 months and go back, I would do it.
If we could just restart 2020, right?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I have to ask you one quick thing. Have you watched The Tiger King?
Of course.
Okay, perfect. The Tiger King memes have been getting me through. And my favorite meme of all of it has been like, oh, 2020 is my year. And then down underneath, it's like Joe Exotic's like, guess what,
I know.
That is just everything that I think about. It's like, it was supposed to be the year, you know?
Well, you know, okay, first of all, it still could be the year.
It's still the year. You're right.
Secondly, Heather, everything happens for a reason. I mean, I'm trying to be altruistic about this, right? There is a silver lining that's going to emerge if it hasn't for a lot of people. And that is we're getting back to, as I said with a lot of other people I talk to, we're getting back to being one with ourselves, if you will, and finding different ways to be productive, reconnecting with people the old-fashioned way,
old-fashioned way.
Yeah, but I feel you. Heather, okay, so I've known you for years. And
I know. Did you tell them how long we've known each other and that we're like genuine friends and that I wish that I was sitting with you with a margarita right now?
I've been saving all that for the interview, but let's talk about your journey as a host because I mean you have you have started from the bottom. Now you're here. You know, you have grinded it out. You've been through it, and you're such an inspiration for a lot, not just people in the industry, but just anyone that's striving to accomplish something major and to really accomplish their goals, right? So take us to the beginning of Heather Gardner as the host and on camera personality.
Oh, the beginning. Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, I think it started back when I was a kid. Like my mom has videotapes, you know, from the like tapes. That's how old I am.
VHS.
VHS tapes of me doing traffic reports from the backyard and, you know, talking about her art in the living room because I was reporting a story on art, you know, so I've always had this I've always wanted to be like in the spotlight, and everybody in my family would tell you I was a singer when I was a kid. Oh, sorry, my dog is running around. Real life. She's chilling. She's making noise. So anyway, yeah, I was a singer and I competed all over the South. I'm from Florida, and I loved that thrill of getting up in front of someone or getting up in front of a crowd and presenting my talent. And of course, like, I was not going to be a famous singer. That was just not going to happen in my life. And so I was like, well, what is a job that I can do that? What is a job where I can work on something and perform and talk to people all the time, always? And it landed me to journalism. And that's kind of how this whole thing started. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're from Florida originally, yes?
Yep. Well,
Okay,
I mean, so I'm a military brat. My dad was in the Navy, and so I was born up north in Connecticut, and then we lived in Georgia for a while, but I'm from Florida. It's the place that I spent the most time as a kid.
Yeah. Well, and then I mean, and so you went to college. You got your degree in journalism. You packed your bags.
I did.
Well, no,
I packed my bags a lot in my career.
Yeah, I know. But you got married. Yes, Laura and your husband. You guys have been together. Did you celebrate an anniversary?
Yes. Okay. So yesterday was our 10 years together. We've been married 5 years, but overall, we've been together for 10 years, which is wild. I'm very old. I feel old. I do. He's giving me this look. No. We've been together for 10 years. Yeah. It's insane to me. And we didn't do anything because, you know, we ain't got nothing to do. So.
But I've been watching your Instagram stories and you're cooking. You guys have dinner every night together?
We do. Well, okay. So I don't know if we would have had dinner every night together in like a normal scenario, but Lauren actually, I want to say he works for me right now. He actually does work on my show, my production, because we don't have any other choice. So when all this happened and we realized that we weren't going back into the studio anytime soon, and we were still going to continue the show, but we were going to do it from, you know, everyone's individual house. They had to hire my husband, like legit. So they hired him to run my prompter, turn on all the lights. He built this set. He does audio for us. He gets the clips to the editors where they need to go. So he is like full on like a part of the team. So we're working together. We're not only living together, we're working together. And then at midnight when the show ends, we're eating together.
I love it. See, Heather, that is the universe and the silver lining to COVID-19. So okay,
I don't know if that's a silver lining. I need some space.
True, but I mean, in the grand scheme of things, so that's awesome. So, okay, let's fast forward then, because last night's late night is just launched on Quibi. Quibi launched April 6th, the new entertainment experience, bite-sized entertainment that you can consume. Lots of stars are on it. You're on it. And this audition, I need to know the whole process of how Heather Gardner ended up on Entertainment Weekly on Quibi, I kind of know, but let the people know because it's truly amazing.
Okay, so I think we have to back up just a little bit more. So
we got to
back up. So I have lived in California. This is my third time living in Los Angeles. When I was in college, I moved out here 10 years ago. Met Lauren, my husband. I'm pointing this way because he's just sitting right over there He's playing some Jurassic Park video game right now. There's a dinosaur on the screen. I don't know what's happening. But anyway, I met my husband my first time living out in California. And then we started our careers and all that stuff. Moved back to California again. And we lived here for 5 years. And that's when I really started getting into, you know, entertainment news hosting. It had always been my dream, but I finally landed that big job around 2015. 15, and bounced around doing red carpets, a lot of freelancing, all that stuff. So did that for about 5 years. And then back in 2018, the end of 2018, I got an offer that I just felt like I couldn't turn down. And this was nothing that I was like aspiring to do. I mean, like hosting a show, yes, I was aspiring to do that. But the offer came to move to New York City. And that was not something that I had like thought about doing. We were California people. My husband was, you know, born here. We have family here, you know, and this was our home. I thought that that's what I wanted to do. And then this opportunity to move to New York just came up and host my own show in Manhattan. And I was like, well, how often does that happen? Like, how often do you get these opportunities? So we did it. We packed up our whole life and moved 3,000 miles to New York. We can fast forward a little bit now. So that job ended because that's the entertainment industry. Nothing is forever. Things are fleeting. And so that job ended about a year later. And so we were in kind of this like tailspin of, okay, we don't really want to stay in New York because
it's
our
expensive.
family's not there. Yeah, exactly. We didn't have any family there. It's really expensive. We really just felt more at home in Los Angeles. And so, you know, when I was looking for other jobs and things, I definitely had this mindset that I wanted to come back to LA. So I've got an amazing, amazing team behind me. My manager is incredible, and she set up an audition for Quibi. And to be honest, I auditioned for 3 different shows for Quibi. I think you auditioned for a few.
It was a huge casting.
Oh my gosh, they casted so many things. I think it's incredible. They launched last week with 50 shows. By the end of the year, I don't know if their plans have changed because a lot of productions aren't continuing right now, obviously because of everything. But by the end of the year, they were projected to have 175 original shows. So they were casting a ton of different shows. And I went in for 3 separate ones. And for people who are in the entertainment industry, you'll know exactly what this means. If you're not in the entertainment industry, to get an audition, just so you know, is exciting, but it's also like a drag.
Yeah. Because it's like, fine.
Yeah, right. And it's just, it's not to me, I don't mean that in like an ungrateful way. It's just part of the process. And like, when you have an audition, like you learn very, very quickly in the industry, just not to get excited about those things, because
especially when you go on a lot of them.
Oh my gosh, yes, because 90% of them don't lead you to anything, and you're like, oh, there's this big name, there's this Quibi, there's Entertainment Weekly, this is super exciting, but like in the back of your mind, you're thinking, well, you know, I also auditioned for this other show, and like
we've been here before.
I didn't get that, so you know, you like temper your expectations, and honestly, like it's for my own mental health, your own mental health, that you do that, because you can't get excited about everything. There's just too much.
And there's nothing wrong. And see, and I'm glad you brought up about like you're not being ungrateful about, because we're passionate. People in the business are passionate about what they're doing. But mental health, it's learning to compartmentalize the rejection to keep going to that next audition.
There's a lot of rejection in this industry. Anybody, no matter what part of it, if you're on camera, off camera, behind the scenes, producing, directing, whatever it is, like there's just a lot of disappointment and a lot of no's. And so this like little opening of a door, which is the audition, like, yes, you get excited about it, but like you don't go tell people. You don't think, I got this job. I mean, I believe like 100 people auditioned for this show, you know, and you know that. You do. Yeah, I mean, I knew so many people who auditioned for this show and all the other Quibi shows too, you know, and of course you would have been amazing at it. And of course my other host friends would have been amazing at it. So you know, and you're excited for everybody. So anyway, so I got the call for the audition, and this was at this point my 3rd audition with Quibi, and I was like, well, do they want me or do they not want me?
Right.
Like, you know, and the tricky part is that I had to come to LA, and I was in New York, and my manager had called, and she said, I need you to get on a plane. And like in my mind, this was right around the holidays, so of course money's tight already, because my other show had ended. Money was really tight, and I was like, can I just like do a Skype interview, please? I don't, you know, because in the back of my mind, I'm thinking this is just going to be like every other thing. And she's like, no, they really want to see you in person. And so Lauren, my husband, who is my rock, he is my partner in life and also in this endeavor and everything. I was like, babe, I don't think I should do it. I think that this is one we just say no to and just wait for the next one. And he literally took my shoulders. He's like, what is wrong with you? Get on a plane, get to Los Angeles, and do it, you know? And I was like, okay, all right, we'll do it. We'll figure it out. And the audition was just like any other audition. You know how it is. You walk in. It's not very personal at all. I mean, like I said, like 100 people auditioned for, you know, any particular show. Very quick. You walk in, you have your lines, you read your lines, you do it maybe a couple times. I think I did it like 3 or 4 times or whatever. And then they say, they don't give you any feedback typically. They say, thank you very much. We'll let you know. And 9 times out of 10,
they don't.
Let you know nothing.
Right.
And you're like,
crickets.
All right, moving along. And so I you know, and I have to tell like this part of the story too, because like so much was hinging on me getting a job, and not just specifically this job, but like when I said that things were tight, like we lived in New York City, which is the most expensive like place, one of the most expensive places in the country. I had been out of work for several months. Things were tight. Christmas was coming, and like I just thought, it was a
trauma. She's reliving that.
I know she was. I think
she's like, I was there for that.
She was. That's so funny. She never barks. Where was I? Layla, you made me lose my train of thought.
Things were tight. You were in New York.
So I was told that the callbacks for the audition would be like the next day. And so I went in there. I thought I did a really good job. And again, like so much was hinging, sorry, I'm petting her. So much was hinging on me getting this job. And I put so much pressure on myself just because I needed something. We needed a life raft, you know, we needed something. And the next day came and went. The next few days came and went. And I didn't hear anything back. And I'll never forget it. I was on a treadmill. I haven't told the story to anybody, like nobody.
Exclusive.
Yes. I was on a treadmill in my mother-in-law's gym in her like apartment complex. I stayed with her. And I called Lauren and I just broke down. I was like jog crying, talking to my husband on the phone. And I was like, I just don't understand. I just don't get it. Like, how many times can I walk out of an audition and feel like I absolutely nailed it and then hear nothing? And he's like, well, you know, the 100 people, you know, he's trying to, you know, 100 people auditioned. It's not just you, it's just they're looking. And I get it. I get all of that, you know, but in that moment, I just needed something. And all of these fears and all of these doubts just come out, and you're just like, well, maybe this isn't for me, you know, maybe this is not what I'm supposed to do.
Heather, I want you to get back to your story, but what you just described is exactly what Oprah went through when she got The Color Purple. And great audition. She read this book. She manifested The Color Purple.
Yeah.
Then she calls the casting director. I'm sure you know the story. The casting director says, you don't call me. I work with real actresses. Wow. And so Oprah felt that she didn't get the job because she was fat. So she goes to a fat farm, and she herself was jogging around at the fat farm, and she had a moment where she spoke to whatever higher power she believed in and said, I surrender. I surrender this. If it's meant to be, fine. And also, she, like Lauren just said, 100 other people auditioned for this job. So you had to come to a space where you're like, well, you know what? If they get it, fine.
Right, exactly. And it wasn't even like I was, again, because I hadn't attached myself to this specific job. I just attached myself to like, I need to work, you know, I need to pay my bills. We don't talk about that a lot, especially in the entertainment industry, which makes me, again, feel so grateful and so thankful that I'm able to do my show from here, because that's just not a reality for so many of our friends, you know. I mean, you're probably dealing with the same thing. Like, you know, people who aren't able to do anything right now. And so like, that's just the reality of what happens when you don't have a job. And so I just needed something, you know. And so
a light.
I needed a light. But again, like, I am in my 30s, and Lauren and I have always kind of talked about, well, what happens if I don't make it. I understand that like making it it's different for a lot of people, but we had said, you know, if I hadn't had that big jump by a certain age, like maybe this isn't for me. Maybe we should think about moving out of Los Angeles to, you know, a local news. I know you're shaking your head. No. Yep.
But I know,
Or
but
maybe
yeah, that's a
look at the
reality for that.
transition.
You have that back and forth a lot.
Right. And you know what? And it's not, again, it's not to say that I don't believe in myself or my talents or my hard work or ethic or anything like that. It's just the reality of like, you got to pay bills and the industry is what it is. And like I said, I'm in my 30s. So I had already seen for several years younger girls getting jobs that I thought that I, you know, was more experienced at. Just the realities, you know? So, you know, all these things play into your head and we're like, well, we have a few more months that we can stay in New York before we have to like really make these hard decisions. And so I'm crying on the treadmill, thinking about all these things, about why I wasn't good enough. What does this mean for my career? What does this mean for our life? Like, you know, all these different things. And I went back to New York empty-handed. I didn't have any answers. No, no one called me that second to say that I got the job or anything. Nothing like that happened. I just got myself back on a plane, tail between my legs, feeling very defeated, and went back to New York to celebrate Christmas because that was what was coming next. And like 3 days before Christmas, just out of the blue, again, I had heard nothing. Not a she did great, not a she was terrible, not a hey she's in the running, like nothing like that. And just like a few days before Christmas, my manager called and she was like, "So you really want to move back to Los Angeles?" And I was like, yes. And it just kind of it happened very fast, and
There you are.
I got the job. Yeah.
Awesome. Chills. That's amazing. So the job, the show, we're here now.
Yeah.
Last night's late night. EW, Quibi. Let's talk about the show because you wrote this illuminating piece in Entertainment Weekly recently about you being the host of the show, but also about how essential television is and how late night TV is so magical. That's what I took away from what you were writing. So tell us about the show. You're recapping Leno, Seth Meyers, Fallon. Let's get into it because this is kind of unbridled territory in a new platform. And also, people in the comments are saying, thank you for sharing your story. So inspiring. Let's talk about the show.
No problem. I see that. Hi. Anytime. You guys can hit me up anytime. I give free advice. Maybe one day I'll, you know, charge for it, but for now it's free. No, I'm just kidding. It'll always be free. The show. Oh my gosh. It's funny how, you know, the universe plays itself out. I am actually a big believer in manifestation. I do believe in a higher power, and in whatever terms that means for you. I don't know if it's God or whatever, but I do believe in a higher being and that the universe like plays itself out the way that it should. If I could have like pinpointed the perfect job for me, I wouldn't have thought of this, but now that I'm in it, I was like, this is like the perfect job for me. And I didn't even realize it until we started getting into, you know, what this actually means. Because every single night, last night's late night, our team, and I have the most incredible team of producers who are just as enthusiastic about late night television and just entertainment as I am. And every single night we watch all the different shows. You named a few. There are more than 20 different late night shows.
It's exhausting.
We watch them all. Yes. We watch them all. We pick out the best nuggets, the funniest interviews, the most insight. And it's not always funny. I mean, last night we were watching James Corden. He returned, and he was talking to Dan Levy of Schitt's Creek. And that was an emotional interview where he was talking about the LGBTQ plus community and what that show and creating that show meant for him as a gay man and talking about that with the audience. And like, that wasn't funny. That was very emotional and moving, but I just feel like those moments happen on late night TV, you know, in such a different way than they happen on, you know, other programming. Late night TV is such a special space.
Oh, it is.
It's especially too because it's like entertainment, but also so many of the shows have gotten political over the past, you know, few decades too.
Well, it's interesting you bring up politics because you yourself, Heather, like I said, like you guys watching, I've known Heather for years. We're actually really good friends. Okay, the cat's out the bag.
Yeah, it is.
But you know, like you from your tweets and from things you've done, you haven't been afraid to voice your political opinion. You're very passionate about women's rights. You're very passionate about marginalized groups of people. So to hear that late night is going that way, I think that you were ahead of the curve as far as, well, I mean, like it's you mentioned this is a perfect job for you.
Yeah.
And I think that you bring something different to the table that's beyond entertainment news, that I think entertainment news is also moving into, and that's being more aware of what's really happening, what's really going on.
Right, because I mean, when you think about the entertainment industry, and I want to bring this back to the article that I wrote too, because when, you know, all of this happened, the plan was to, you know, go, we have a huge set. We have a huge staff. I mean, dream status of like what everything is. And then all of that was stripped away. All of it was stripped away. And we went through a couple weeks of like, is the show even going to continue? What's going to happen here? And of course, it wasn't just me. This is the whole world. This is the whole country.
The new normal.
Industry, right. And so, you know, the late night hosts were also having to deal with this. The View is dealing with this. The Today Show. I mean, scripted shows. Now, we just found out that a reality show, The Voice on NBC, is going to shoot remotely like this. But at the time, it feels normal now because we've been doing it now for a month. But at the time, this was like such uncharted territory. And in my whole life, people have asked me, you know, why entertainment news? You've got a good voice. You have such passion for, like you said, like marginalized people. You're up to date on the news. Why not go to CNN? Why not do that? And I have just always defended this idea that like entertainment is important. And for a million reasons, I could talk to you all day about why I think that it is an important aspect of our lives. But in this moment right now, the one we're living in, I think that it means more for us in the sense of like, we need it because we are at a place, we're sidelined. Everyone in the whole world is just sidelined. And what are we doing? We're going to our entertainment. We're going to our television. We're going to our books even. You know, we're listening to our podcasts. We're going to our favorite late night hosts and seeing how they're dealing with this. And it makes me feel better about how I'm dealing about this. It is such a unique moment in time. I am so like grateful and thankful to be a part of it right now. And yeah,
silver lining.
It's nuts, you know? And so I like I said, like I don't know that I realized that doing this job would mean this much to me, because of course like it meant a lot, like to have the big set and to have the studio and to have this like big job, you know, on a network, a new network. It's amazing. It's everything I've ever wanted. It was all taken away in that regard. And yet still I feel so grateful to be able to do it like this, because it just means so much more to people in this moment.
Yeah. And well, Heather, that's so powerful, because you mentioned the universe as well earlier. And I think that, again, going back to your article, you had talked about how things were upended, and you never, in the 11th hour, you never imagined that
we were 2 weeks. We were 2 weeks away.
Yeah,
2 weeks. Right. They shut us down, and for all the right reasons. You know, it had to be done. But I just never expected. I never expected that would happen. You know.
Right.
Nobody did.
Right. But then the universe, if you want to get altruistic with it, the universe works in your highest good, right?
Yeah.
You having this intimate setting to work with your husband, to come from your home where people are at, creates a sense of comfort, at least when I watch.
Yeah.
And I think that whoever is up there, that was what was supposed to happen.
Yeah. It definitely was. Yeah.
Yeah. And I
like
think
so. Oh, go ahead.
I liken you to the female John Oliver sans the snarkiness, because
I got some snark.
but you're a little bit more PG than John Oliver.
It's true.
But I think what the beauty of last night's late night is just that late night television is like football, baseball, Thanksgiving, apple pie. It's American, right?
We love it.
We love it. And you also mentioned escapism in your article in the Entertainment Weekly. And I think prior to that, we would feel bad for leaning into that. But I think that sense of escapism is also centering and grounding people, because it's allowing us to step back and be like, okay, let me have this moment to laugh and feel good before I go back to, again, the new normal and figure that out. So you're doing your public, you're an essential service.
Thank you. No, but you know, and here's the thing. I have just always, always, always defended the entertainment industry as an essential service because it does. Like, no matter, even when the world goes back to normal and we'll all, you know, carry on with our lives and whatever that means for individual people, it's fine. But at the end of most every day, most people come home and what do? They turn on their television.
Right.
They grab their books. They listen to their podcasts. They listen to their music. I mean, that's the way, whatever your vice is within, that's all within the entertainment industry. You pick your vice, but it is all there for you to drown out whatever it is in the world that is bothering you. It's a way to connect. I mean, like, I just love the fact that we were able to talk about something together. Let me, in the same way that, like, Tiger King, what was the first thing I asked you? What, have you seen Tiger King? You know, there are just, that's an entertainment thing that has connected us through this pandemic in the same way that, like, Game of Thrones, everybody was talking about Game
Heather,
of Thrones.
Joe Exotic is the MVP of 2020. Forget Biden, forget the stimulus check. It's Joe Exotic.
Yeah, exactly. I just think that entertainment just provides that for us. And the fact that, like, now we're just, you know, watching the late night television shows. It's like, what's Jimmy Fallon doing today with his kids? What's Stephen Colbert? Like, I feel like it's funny because I watch them every single night. And so now I, like, really, really know their personalities, especially since I've been watching them all since they started their online stuff. And it's funny, I can tell when Jimmy Fallon is having a rough day. Like last night, he talked about, he just sat outside and he's like, hey guys, and you know, Jimmy Fallon is larger than life. He is always, like, you know, moving around like this, moving, grooving, doing skits and stuff. And he just sat there on a rock in his backyard. And he was like, hey guys, welcome to the show. The sun is shining and that's something to be grateful for. And I was just like, you know what? Like, that's perfect because I had a rough day yesterday too. I was just off yesterday I don't know. I can't tell you. Everything is bothering me. Everything. But I was just like, I feel that, you know? And then I go out and I flip it over to Stephen Colbert, who has posted every single show with a glass of bourbon. Oh, I feel that too. I definitely feel that.
It's relatability. And by the way, Fallon is my favorite late night, and he also has the Roots as his house band. I mean,
they are so good.
Only Fallon would have the Roots as his house band. Come on,
they're so good.
But the relatability, that's what it leans on, and I think we don't get that from regular news. Daytime television is supposed to be levity, joyful, buoyant, right? It's daytime TV, and I think that late night, because it's one, the time that it's on, and then the subject matter that you're able to have at late night lends itself to a lot more relatability. You know what also is really relatable right now though is the toilet paper you have.
I just saw it already. Okay, yes. Everybody keeps asking about the toilet paper. Okay, so for the first time in a month.
Are you hoarding toilet paper, Heather?
I'm not hoarding toilet paper. It's such a prized possession in my house that I had to add it on my set because we went a whole month. We couldn't find it for a whole month. And then one day my husband came back from the store and he just holds it up like this, like the Holy Grail, like
Simba and the Lion King.
And so we put it on the set because we were like, oh my gosh, yes. And I'll pan over a little bit. You can see we have a little board here keeping it real. Look at this nonsense, by the way.
Ooh, that looks good.
That's my armpit sweat.
Heather, there are days.
It is what it is.
I stopped wearing deodorant. There were days I haven't worn deodorant for seriously.
I am wearing deodorant. I just got all these lights.
No, you're a better person than me. There was a week where I didn't wear deodorant at all, and I'm not whatever.
Well, I tried very hard. Well, this is anyway. Moving along. I was like, well, they're gonna see it anyway. So here's my board. The night that we change this out every single night. And so the day that we finally found toilet paper, it just had a little word that said score and an arrow pointing to the toilet paper. And then we just left it up because it's our prized possession.
Yeah.
I'm really trying to add to the set. This is another funny little story. I contacted the CEO of the Bobblehead Museum to see if they could rush me a Dr. Fauci bobblehead.
Love it.
Put right here.
What do they say?
They're gonna get it. Yeah. haven't got it yet. But they said, it's back ordered because I ordered one, and they said it wouldn't be here till July. And I'm like, I want this now. And so I contacted him, told him about the show, and I was like, I just want to add him to my set. So they're working on it, but we'll see.
I love it. Isn't it interesting how like I wanted to buy candles because I like light a candle. We got a dog. You know how the house kind of smells like a dog. Light a candle.
Have you ever? Wait, you haven't had a dog in a while. Like this, you just got a new baby.
Yeah, she's a new addition.
So cute. What's her name again? I forget.
Valentina Mariah, and my husband doesn't like the middle name Mariah, but Valentina Mariah.
Does he know you? Does he know you?
I know. It's a struggle, but I call her Puppy Baby for short.
Oh, Puppy Baby.
She's
so cute.
Love her.
I told Lauren, I was like, maybe we should take this time and get another dog. He looked at me like this.
Right. Well, you're booked and busy. One dog's enough. But Heather, this show. We got an exclusive tour of the set. Love it.
Did, yes.
But I mean, this show though is so good. I watch every day. I'm so happy for you. We have spent many nights at our favorite restaurant in the Valley, Soy Luna, margaritas and salsa, talking about this moment. Mm-hmm. And I'm so it couldn't have happened to a better person. You're hard. I always say you're one of the hardest working people in the business. You help people. You're humble. You're kind. You're fucking fun, and you're good. You're damn good. So,
stop it! You're gonna make me cry. I cry every day already.
Don't cry. But again, so proud of you. I know a lot of our colleagues are just as proud as I am. And
hi, Nick.
Yeah, and look, Nick Mora, again, a colleague. I mean, people in the comments today have just been so effusive about how wonderful you are, Heather. And this show is great. I cannot wait till you guys get back in the studio. How dope it's gonna be.
I know. It's like I can't wait too, because like at the end of the day, like I miss my team so much. It was so disappointing to have to like celebrate the first episode because we've been working so hard, and to have to celebrate that alone, separate from everybody. That's very disappointing. Yeah. I know that I'm like the face of the show, but there is such a team of incredible people who have put their souls into this as well. And I cannot wait for the day that we are finally reunited, not on a Zoom call, and we can do this show the way that we intended it. But I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that I hate this format, because I don't. It's such a unique moment in time, is what I keep saying. And I just feel so grateful to be able to come to you from my living room and just chit chat about what is happening in the world
with good lighting. With great lighting.
Would you like a full tour? Because it is.
Let's do it. I want the full, because your lighting's incredible.
Okay, this was all my husband's doing. So we got lights there. There's Lauren. He's there.
Hey, Lauren.
Lights there. Typically, these windows are blocked out, but it was like a cave in here. So we pull them up during the day. And then at night, it's kind of, it's a little bit messy from last night, but we have a rug, and then we put all these blankets. If you see one of our blankets, just all over. It is quite the process.
But it's like, I hate to use the new normal again, because my phone is on 3 boxes and 4 books.
Oh yeah, I have like a little stand that this is on. It works. It gets the job done.
Gets the job done, right? Heather, it's been so good talking to you, love. Where can they find you on social media?
You can find me everywhere at Heather GTV.
And when do the new episodes of Last Night's Late Night drop on Quibi?
Every single morning, every single weekday morning, Monday through Friday. I mean, you can get it whenever you want, but they are ready fresh for you by 6:30 a.m.
Love it.
I stay up late for you.
You do, because I wake up at 2 a.m. and I see your stories at midnight. So
I know. It's funny. I like talk. I think you know this. Like, the fact that doing this overnight, it's like not like I can just like turn off the lights and then go to bed. Like, I am hyped. Right. We're talking, we're having fun, we're filming, and then it's like bedtime. Nah, I stay up till like 3 a.m. because I gotta come down from all of that. So that's when I go on when I'm like switching from host mode to wife mode and cooking dinner. I'm like, hey guys, what's up? No one else is awake right now, but I'm just gonna chat.
I know, it's cute. It's so cute. You're one of the first stories I read in the morning because you have so many, and I'm like,
yeah, that's true. I do.
It's 4 a.m. Why is she not sleeping? But we get it.
Yeah.
Heather Gardner, HGTV, Quibi, Entertainment Weekly's show Last Night Late Night. Can't even talk. You are a treasure. Love you. You're amazing.
Oh, I can't wait till we can have margaritas again.
It's good. It's soon. It's coming. Manifest it, girl. You take care, and we'll see you on Quibi.
Bye.